Hello everyone and welcome to the channel, and today you join me in the Boeing 787-10 as everything spawns in at the gate here around the airfield, and we are at Manchester Gate 208. Now, for anyone that owns the Deluxe Edition or the Aviators Edition, this comes as no surprise to you, and quite frankly it's probably anything new, but for us standard players, this is a brand new aircraft. It's currently on sale for around about 60 credits, I think it is, for PlayStation users. So I thought I'd take a dabble. Mediocre reviews, so I want to give it a bit of a test flight today and see how we're going. Now, this comes in a KLM livery and a South Korean, I want to say. Unlike the Xbox version, there's a few more liveries with that, including a TUI livery, which would have been great for the holiday flights, but for PS5, unfortunately, we have only got the two liveries for the airlines, as well as the plain white and the Boeing house colours. So, without further ado, let's jump into the flight deck. And here we are in this very nice looking 787 flight deck. We've got the jump seats in the back, and unfortunately no textured cabin, which was a bit of a letdown, but there is the overhead panel and a bit of a look at the flight deck here from the far back. And having been on the 787, I have to say it is very true to scale. It looks very well. Yeah, perfect. So, without further ado, let's get the battery on, and we'll get the external ground power on as well. And while we're at it, we'll get the APU on.
Boeing Alpha Sierra X-ray 787 is cleared to Stansted Airport via the list 2 Yankee departure, runway 23 left. Climb via SID maintain 5,000, expect 15,010 minutes after departure. Departure frequency is 118.775, squawk 2441.
And if you haven't guessed where we're off to today, we are doing a positioning flight down to Stansted. Get the IRS aligned, there we go. Probably haven't done any of that in the correct order, but there we go. Cruising altitude of 15,000 feet. Okay. So once we get up into the cruise and on our way down to Stansted, do a bit of a review on what we're looking at, and kind of give you my overall impressions of if this is something you could probably invest in, and we'll take it from there really as we go into land at Stansted. So we want 5,000 feet after departure. There we go, and turn the flight director on. There we go, and we'll put that up to, there we go. Auto throttle can go on. Turn that down to 220. Perfect. Auto throttle. Okay, and with that being said, I think I'm pretty much ready to go. So what I'll do now is beacon and nav lights are going on, and we will go to ground services, tune to Manchester ground, and I want a pushback, please.
Boeing Alpha Sierra X-ray 787 requesting pushback.
Boeing Alpha Sierra X-ray 787. Pushback request accepted.
So the doors have gone to auto now. The steering locked out as the bypass pin has been inserted. Our APU is running, and everything is looking a-okay so far. And we had an update as well over the weekend for the flight sim, and the one thing I have noticed is the vast amount and actually improved AI aircraft that we have. So engines are spooling up now. Got a lovely KLM Embraer there, which suits our flight perfectly. Don't know why we've got Cessna parts at the ramp. What we got to our right, we got an Embraer E90. But I did do a departure out of here yesterday, around 7 o'clock in the morning. Only departure out, and the amount of traffic was absolutely astonishing. Not sure why they've decided to end our pushback here. Disappointing. Okay, we are ready for taxi apparently. So taxi light is going on.
Boeing Alpha Sierra X-ray 787. Taxi to and hold short of runway 23. Left via taxiway November Charlie Echo Quebec Papa.
Alright, engines are coming on now.
Contact tower on
There they go, they are spooling. Parking brake is on.
Taxi to and hold short runway 23. Left via taxiway November Charlie Echo Quebec Papa cross runway 23. Right Delta.
Flaps are going down. Flaps 5. Okay, and that will do it for ATC for the time being. Okay, I think we are ready to go. Spool up them big engines and start the turn. So yeah, as I was saying, yeah, done a departure out here out of Manchester yesterday, 7 o'clock in the morning. Peak time for the departures. And I have to say, I had a lot of traffic all around me. I was being told to wait by ATC to let traffic pass. And I tell you what, the immersion was absolutely phenomenal. Whatever they've done in this update in terms of the AR traffic was, for me, a 10 out of 10. A lot of real-world liveries, some of the 737s, yeah, it had the Boeing because it was like Ryanair and TUIs, and obviously they're not in the game. But I had EasyJets, a few Wizz Airs. Yeah, really, really good to see. It gave that immersion a lot more for me. So that was great to see for that part. Yeah, traffic behind still goes through your aircraft and jump the queue. Really, like the last time I was really playing a hardcore flight simulator was probably, and I didn't really play a lot of Flight Simulator X. I was all the way back in Flight Simulator 2004, just because the amount of add-ons and expansion packs that I had for that thing, running off just a normal household computer. Yeah, Flight Simulator X was just too powerful for the PC. So I just lived off FS 2004 for the best part of maybe 15 years. It was ridiculous. So yeah, I mean, like this now, we've got an aircraft taxiing towards us, which probably shouldn't really be happening. It just kind of spoils it a little bit. See, I'm being told to hold now, and what's going to happen is just going to go straight through me.
Boeing 787. Continue taxi.
And there we go. It just kind of, I think that just kind of ruins the illusion a little bit. And it's taxiing onto a stand there with, you know, Cessna citation part next to it as well. Yeah, it's just, yeah, I think there's a little thing like that. But in terms of the departure yesterday going out, yeah, I couldn't rate it. All the traffic that we had was it was great to see, really, a bit refreshing as well. Considering I feel like the airports have been quite sparse lately as well. But going back to the Dreamliner that we're showcasing today, after that departure that I did do, I went and done a bit of a VR test in it as well. A little bit janky, I have to say. I took a departure out of Birmingham, obviously, my home airport, and it took me a few tries. The sense of scale was very true to life, felt very large, big wide flight decks, which was great. Very true to scale. Yeah, the screens kept going black, and sometimes they weren't there at all, and you could see through. And it took a lot of memory from the PS5 to kind of get it all in and working properly. Nothing like how you're seeing now. So yeah, that was a bit of a test for the standard PlayStation here. So as we're coming up to the threshold here, I am going to just hold short. Brakes are going on, and as we're crossing, runway lights are going on now, and the strobe lights. So what I will do, look left, and we're clear down that way, and looking to the right, we are clear. So we'll go ahead and cross. Yeah, a bit of a struggle, the Dreamliner for the PS5. If you are in the VR, that is. But overall, so far so good. It does have its limitations, and I will get to them points when we are in the air. So as we taxi in across now, let's have a look, keeping an eye out. Yep, we are clear. Perfect. Okay, so the APU is still running, and I'm going to shut that off now. There we go. Perfect. A bit more throttle here as we're going uphill. So spool up them GE engines. So the APU cooling down now, and we are going to go ahead and let me bring up the ATC. Manchester Tower. There we go. Take off clearance.
Manchester Tower, Boeing Alpha Sierra X-ray 787, ready for departure. Runway 23 left, IFR to Stansted. Boeing Alpha Sierra X-ray 787.
Okay.
QNH 1015. Cleared for takeoff, runway 23 left. Cleared for takeoff, runway 23 left. Boeing Alpha Sierra X-ray 787.
Okay, so we'll turn the ATC off as I've got AI covering that for me today. So let's throttle back, and we'll come to a full stop. Line up with the runway. There we go. So we're going to power up to 40%. And full power. Okay, and we are rolling. So passing through 100 knots now. Looking for around about the 160 to 180 mark before we rotate out. There's 160. There's 180. I'm pulling back on the stick now. And we are airborne. Right, okay, autopilot is going on, and I want the LNAV.
Boeing 787 contact Manchester Centre on 118.775. Good day. 118.775. Boeing 787.
And there we are, departure out of Manchester.
Boeing Alpha Sierra X-ray 787 is back.
Flaps going to 1.
Climbing 5,000.
We're steady at 220 knots.
Boeing Alpha Sierra X-ray 787. Manchester Center, QNH 1015.
Got a message there saying our checklist was incomplete, but we're kind of skipping through that part today. We do have all the checklists actually in here, and I'll show you that in the cruise.
Expect 15,000.
So up to 6,000 now. There we go.
6,000. Expect 15,000. Boeing 787.
And turn the weather. So again, a lot of these are clickable, but non-applicable. A bit disappointing. So we're up to 220 knots, under 250 knots, under 10,000 feet, which is good for us at the moment. Climbing to 6,000, and there we are. We are cleared to our cruising altitude of 15,000 today. And we'll bump that up to 240. There we go. So there we are. In terms of flight controls and everything so far, yeah, they're okay. Are they 100%? No, they're not. Again, I mean, like, a lot of these buttons are clickable, but when you comes up and it says obviously non-applicable on there, you know, it's just, that's a bit disappointing. Again, you got this little glitch here where, you know, you click a certain button, and if you was just like VFR in this thing, you know, it was trying to turn the aircraft on a complete left-hand to right-hand turn there. Yeah, it has its drawbacks. Good visually to look at, I do have to say. I mean, at least we get a cabin chime. Do you know? That's one thing that I do rate on an aircraft is the cabin chime. Stupid, I know, but if you can't get a cabin chime, then, you know, what the hell are we even doing here? So, let me take you into the computer. So, systems, even though it does say non-applicable on here, these actually do work. So you can see the electrical, you got the hydraulics, the fuel, the air. You can see all the doors and what's open, what isn't. Maintenance, none of that is not available. Obviously you got the flight controls there, you got the gears. Amazing. Info is not available, and then obviously you've got our navigation display, comms, and there's a checklist. So you've got all your pre-flight there, which just consists of the parking brake set and the fuel cut-off, which probably there's a lot more to it than that. Passenger signs, and all this is interactive. So that's your before starts, before taxi. So you've got everything in here that if you really want to go into it, but I think on your own in terms of the sim, you know, are you going to be able to go through all this while you're taxiing and, you know, doing all your pre-takeoff checks? I don't think you are. But still, it's great to kind of see it on there. So let me flick that back to the CDU. There's our routing, and there's all the legs that we've got in our flight down to Stansted today. So there we are, and let me flick this to navigation display so I can see where I'm going, and there we go. That's our complete flight route. So we've got about 80 nautical miles. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go outside and take you through some drone shots, some very nice cinematics, I hope, and I will see you there. Okay, so you join me from one of the only internal shots that we can get. Unfortunately, it's a fixed position. Even though there's a modelled interior, like how we can on the A321, we can kind of go through the flight deck door and, you know, venture around the inside of the cabin. You can't do this on the Dreamliner, and it's actually a shame, really, because it's there, it can be used. Yeah, bit of a letdown if I'm being honest. In terms of the fixed cameras, what we do have, I'll run through the cycle. So we've got the tail shot over the wing, over the other wing, underneath the belly, looking backwards. We've got a very nice tail shot there. Another wing shot. 7 is another over wing. An engine shot. Another over wing shot. Number 10 is the internal. Oh, I stand corrected. We do have 11, which is another over wing shot internal, but again, that's all we can see. So let me go to the cockpit and take that back out. What can we do in terms of limitations? So I'm going to go slightly off track here, and I am going to disengage the autopilot because I want to do a few manoeuvres here to show its capabilities. Someone said to me, can you do a barrel roll? And I will now go and explain. So you can roll it all the way to the left, but that is it. You can send it on a knife edge, but that's it. So I couldn't get it into a barrel roll. So let me try again to the right hand side. Right hand side coming in. Again, that's the maximum I can get it to. Can't get it anymore. So yeah, like I say, it has its limitations. So let me go back and put the autopilot back on now. And right, there we go. So does it have its drawbacks? Yes, it does. It's not 100% realistic. I think what you get for the price that you pay kind of reflects in what we've been given. Was I expect to be blown out the water for 60 credits? No. However, I do think there's a very difference in terms of what the Xbox users have got and the PlayStation users have got. And there's one major thing which I will show you when we land, which was a major letdown for me, because I know in the Xbox version I had that, and I played the FS 2020 version, and I upgraded for the Dreamliner just because I wanted to use Dreamliner, a heavy aircraft, rather than that piece of shit 747 that we've been given. And like I say, there was more liveries, there was some more features that you could do with it, and yeah, I just think it's kind of been scaled back a little bit on this version that we have got. Like I say, I think it's a shame, you know, you can't go through the flight deck door and go into the cabin, considering the model is actually there as well. Yeah, it's just a bit of a shame, really. Again, don't know why we're turning left there. That's probably another glitch with the sim. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to skip on ahead to our descent into Stansted. And you can see the arrival. Okay, so you join me now as we are in descent now to Stansted Airport for 8,000 feet as we are heading towards the BKY waypoint here. And we should get to 8,000 feet before we hit that, which is great. Going a bit fast at the moment, so what I will do is just, if I can, deploy a bit of these speed brakes. 50%. Kind of want to control this down as much as I can. So passing through now. We haven't got any passengers on today. It's just cabin crew. And all the landing lights and everything are still on. I didn't bother turning them off clearly, which is great. So coming through now. 9,000 feet, 250 knots, and I think what I will do for this is go to my checklist, and we are in our descent, so recall, auto brake, I can put that to 3 I think today. Landing data, and I'm not briefing anyone. So normal menu, and then go to the approach. Altimeters, let me take that off from standard. There we go. That is now done. Landing. Speed brake armed, gear down, and flap set. That's all that I need. Okay. So speed brake is armed. Don't need to do anything more now with that. I'll go V now for that. Send me down many more. Actually, if I go to CDU, Abbott is 8,000, then down to 2,000. I don't like the look of that. So I'm going to descend down to 4,000 feet now. I'm going flaps 1. And that range should come back in now before we hit Abbott. Now Abbott is saying to us to get to 8,000 feet. I really want to be at 4,000 because look at the rate of descent would have to go then to drop to get into Stansted. Yeah, not liking that at all. So I'm going to start descending now, and that's kind of where I want to be. Just as we turn there and kind of do this 180. 180 degree turn to the right. It's kind of where I want to be around about 4,000. Just it gives us a nice kind of glide into Stansted here as we are approaching in from the northeasterly direction. And a very nice but very cloudy day today. Date of recording is Sunday just gone. The heat wave is coming to an end. Still warm, spots of sunshine, but mostly cloudy here in the West Midlands today. But I am in the my little hideaway playing this. I've got the fan on me because it is still quite warm. And the other night during the week we had I think it was probably much for the most of the country, but let me know if you did. We had a catastrophic thunder and lightning storm around about 2 or 3 in the morning. I personally didn't see it, but a massive clap of thunder did wake me up, and I had to think, what the hell was that? But I have saw some photos online, and some of the photos that were captured were absolutely amazing. I for one, absolutely love a thunder and lightning storm. But at 3 o'clock in the morning, I am not getting up for it at all. So, descending through 6,000 now. We're at 220 knots. I'm just going to bring this back a bit more. Bring it back to 200. There we go. I'll go flaps 5.
It's 2 o'clock, 4 miles at 4,700, Boeing 737.
Okay. Reporting nothing in sight at the moment through this cloud.
Have the Boeing 737 in sight.
I'm not sure what you're looking at either.
Ryanair 25 tree.
Oh, okay.
And maintain 6,000 expect ILS runway. 22 approach via BKY 22 transition. Cleared to BKY 22.
Right, okay. Heads up display. That all works. Let's zoom right in here and we can kind of see what we're doing. There we go. We'll go for 4,500. That's good enough for us. And we will have a right-hand turn coming up very shortly. Nothing to report just yet. Okay, so I've put the heads-up display away for a couple of moments. We've got the right-hand turn coming in now. We've got a tailwind behind us of 18 knots, 19 knots, should we say. And the right-hand turn is kicking in now. There we go. Rolling to the right. And a very nice descent I've had so far. One of the best ones yet. Done a few yesterday. Again, didn't really work out to plan, but this is the most successful one, he says, touch wood, so far. Everything is behaving the way it should. And I think this is the thing with the flight simulator. When everything kind of works and it gels, it's such a fun experience to have. But when things are going wrong, and you kind of get a sense of when it's going wrong pretty quick, you know, the black screens, things aren't loading properly, and the aircraft's not following the flight plan, etc. It kind of just, you think, do you know what, I'm going to have to turn this off and reset it all and set it all back up again and see if it works. That's the frustrating part, I think. But when like how it is now, everything's kind of gelling, everything's flowing, the aircraft's doing what it should be doing. It just makes it so much better than what it is. Right, bringing that back down to 180. We'll go for 3,000. At 500. There we go. Okay. So slowly descending in now at 3,000. Let's make that 6. Why not? And we should start getting our glimpses of Stansted Airport very, very soon. If I turn on the not seeing anything yet.
Boeing 787, climb and maintain 7,100.
I'm not climbing to 8,000. Absolutely not.
Climb and maintain.
No, can't see nothing.
Have the Boeing 737 in sight.
Not really sure what this guy is actually seeing. I think he just says we got it in sight, even though that we don't. Right. Small right-hand turn coming up now.
Boeing 787,
I'm going to go flaps 10.
5,000.
I'm well within my limits for flaps 10.
Maintain 5,000, Boeing 787.
Right-hand turn coming in now. Right, as soon as we do get the airfield in sight, I probably will disengage the autopilot and manually fly this in, just so you can see the manual touchdown today. Flaps 15.
Boeing 787, contact Stansted Tower on 125.55 when inbound on the approach.
Okay, going over to the tower. Okay, just bringing in the flaps that bit more now. I've got the airfield off just by the pillar towards the edge of the window. So I've got the runway in sight now for runway 22. And flaps 20 is going in now. Gear is also coming down.
Stansted Tower, Ryanair 2517.
Got a Ryanair behind us.
Inbound ILS runway 22 approach. Ryanair 2517, Stansted Tower. QNH 1015, cleared ILS runway 22 approach.
And what I'll do, like I said, there is some drawbacks to this aircraft, so we're going to start rolling to the left hand side. I'll disengage the autopilot. And just as we go over the threshold, I'm going to flick external to kind of show you what we look at here. So there we are. Runway is dead ahead now. Beautiful. Amazing. So, autopilot is now disengaged. Don't want that. Get rid of that. There we go. Right, perfect. Leave the auto throttle engaged for the time being. Just start to lower that nose now.
Boeing 787, wind 259 at 10.
All right. Clear to land. Here we go. So, for 60 credits, is this aircraft worth it, should we say? If you want another airline to add to your collection, do you know what? Why not? As you can see on this flight, if it works, it works. But you do have to be aware that obviously there are certain things and certain drawbacks on this. I think the major one for me is just about to come up now, and I will show you that. Yeah, you don't get a cabin, even though there's one modelled in there. That's a bit of a shame. The liveries is a bit of a shame as well. Yeah, without trying to be too negative, you know, it's just one of your generic airliners that Flight Sim provide for us, and it does the job. Yeah, it's not great, but it does it. Do you know what I mean? I think it's kind of one of them. So I think you've just got to make the most of what you've got with it. But in terms of another airliner to use, yeah, I quite enjoy it, to be fair. There's nothing I love better than having an airliner. Like I say, the AI update that we've got with the update, as you can see, I've got an aircraft taking off now ahead of me, got another aircraft lining up. It just gives the immersion so much better, and I feel like some of the glitches as well has been cleared up.
Sunturn 1820 and runway 22 ready for departure. IFR to Antalya.
Sunturn 1820.
See, and they've actually held the traffic because we are on finals. Right, auto throttle going off. Going to idle.
Hold short runway 22. Sunturn 1820.
Down, and bit of a botch landing there. And now I am doing full reverses, and that is the biggest drawback for me. Where the hell is the reverse thrust on this aircraft? R1 and circle, nothing. Just an absolute shame. Like, unless something's not mapped to my controller, I need to double check that. But oh my god, like how could you forget it? Like really? Like really? Yeah, such a shame, such a shame. This is what I mean about some of the textures not loading in, but as soon as it does, it works. So, bring all the flaps in now. And we're going to turn off here. So if that's a make or break for you, I mean, I've just had to manually brake the whole way down the runway, which is probably something actually unheard in a Dreamliner. So we'll taxi here and then we'll hold short because I know we've got an aircraft lining up now and about to depart, and we've probably got a Ryanair right up our arse as well. So let's stop there. Right, landing lights are going off, turn offs are going off, strobe can go off and the taxi light can go on. And let's also get the APU back up and running. Oh, there we go. And tune to ground. Taxi to parking, please.
Boeing Alpha Sierra X-ray 787. Request taxi to parking. Boeing Alpha Sierra X-ray 787. Taxi to general aviation parking using taxiway Lima.
I genuinely don't like the fact that you know, that happens as well.
Taxi to general aviation parking.
Why the hell are we using general aviation when we could be parked at a gate? So, another bit of my drawback here as well. So we're doing a left here, so I don't need to keep that on for you. I'll deploy the air brakes after this, but I want you to watch the front wheel. So we are turning left here. The front wheel doesn't turn. That's also another drawback. Could it have been that hard to have had the front wheel to turn? I think not. Yeah, again, bit of a shame. Yeah. So those are my drawbacks in terms of the Dreamliner, what we do have. Not a bad price, but yeah. Could it have been done better? I think it's a bit of a 50-50 and the person that's going to be using it. I mean, for me, I'm using it from the flight deck, so for the nose wheel, I'm not really asked. The aircraft turns, as you can see. I'm not seeing it. I think the biggest one for me is the reverse thrust. The fact that that's not in there. But I mean, as soon as this is over with, I'll check my settings and have a look. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to skip ahead now and I'll catch you on stand. Okay guys, we are now on stand. I did do a whole parking on stand thing, but realised I actually didn't hit record. My apologies. But here we are on stand. Aircraft have been shut down. I've opened up some of the doors. Is this aircraft worth 60 credits? Yes, if you can get past, you know, the no reversers, the no cabin kind of thing, and a bit of the jankiness. But if you're like me and you're just using it from, you know, the flight deck only, I think it does for what it needs for 60 credits. You know, why not? You know, it's not too bad. Shame there isn't a few more liveries like there were on the Xbox, but yeah, overall, I'm quite happy with it. You know, it does what I ask it to do, and as you can see today, it was a very successful flight. So, absolutely, fill your boots while it's in the sale. If you want to get it just for purely and upgrading your sim, and you know you're thinking of going to like the Aviator just for the aircraft, absolutely not. Don't do it. Save your money. Wait for something by Quality Wings to come out, and that's if it even comes to the PS5 version as well, I would say. But we are on the road to 500 subscribers, guys. So if you did enjoy it, drop me a like, drop a subscribe. It really, really does help me out. And as soon as we do hit 500 subscribers, I do have some merchandise that I have been sort of planning in the background. I do my own aviation artwork as well, so I've got a link to my Etsy below if you want to purchase any of that, which is going to be available through the YouTube store when that comes online as soon as we do hit 500 subscribers. But until the next time, guys, I will see you in the next one.